Hey everybody, welcome to Transformation Gold. This is Carl Sen, and I can tell you my commitment is that this experience for you is going to be awesome. I'm going to get you into section 1 of Enlightened Entrepreneurship. This is going to be chapter 1. We're talking about seizing opportunities. How all this came about, back in July of 2006, after working for several hours, I had difficulty falling asleep, and I'm sure you've experienced this before. Now for me, this usually happens when I have too much on my mind or fall behind with my workload. When this occurs, I find that a technique called mind dumping helps me to stay agile and move forward with production. Now this is where I simply grab a pen and a paper, and without thinking or worrying about what's going to come out, I simply dump my thoughts. So during a mind dumping session, I drew on a full sheet of paper a large circle with a cross in the center of it, kind of like a crosshairs. I then plotted the letters E, B, S, and G. After this large circle was complete, I freely wrote 2 words at the top of it, which were New World. I moved to the next sheet of paper and I wrote down the word entrepreneurs and the word business partners below it. After that, my mind kind of went blank. I felt dizzy, I felt lightheaded, and I had no idea what I had just created, nor the meaning of it. A certain fear had come over me, unlike anything I had ever experienced before. Now it's amazing to look back and realize that I was in the process of receiving the formula for the basis of not only my life's work, but a tremendous gift that can change your life forever if you allow it to. That night, I had a dream and I saw the same symbol, but in color this time. It had a golden center and a red outside. It rose from the bottom like a sunrise to the sound of an alarm going off in the background. The following morning, I reflected upon these vivid images in search of some insight as to what was taking place. And at that time, a certain book ended up in my hands. When I opened up that book, I had one of the most profound experiences of my lifetime. On the very first page, 2 words had jumped out at me immediately. And those 2 words were service and gratitude. At the time, I didn't know what it meant, and to be quite honest, it scared the heck out of me. After all, I set intentions like many people do, and I often ask for guidance, but never in my life have I been given such a crystal clear answer in such a short amount of time. So naturally, I began to ask myself some questions like, what were the chances? What were the odds? What is this new message that I'm receiving? Why am I receiving it? What responsibility comes with it? Do I even want that responsibility? And wow, did all this really just happen? I knew there was specific meaning behind these words and the order in which I received them. But it wasn't until a few months later that I had actually realized that the formula entrepreneurs, business partners, service, and gratitude is the cycle of infinite wealth in its simplest form. It's the path that every entrepreneur must walk to achieve enlightenment. And it's the only path to building an infinitely great business. Now, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about this cycle in this book. I'm going to teach you what it represents and how to apply it. And if you apply it correctly, you can obtain your own golden transformation. If you use everything I teach you correctly, you can accomplish anything that you ever dreamed of. Now, after 2 years of turning my back on that synchronistic moment in time, it's with great pleasure that I bring to you the formula I discovered on that day. And it couldn't have come at a better time. Why do I say that? Well, over the past decade, our country is in need of enlightened entrepreneurs more than ever before. Just in the past 10 years alone, we've seen more and more people losing their jobs, they've lost their homes, their spouses, really than any other time. Because of this, more and more people are seeking to become entrepreneurs, and they're seeking to become their own boss and live life on their terms. Chances are that if you're reading this book, you're facing a transitional phase in your life right now. Now, maybe you've been downsized, maybe you're just getting out of the military and you're headed back into the civilian workforce. Maybe you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time and your industry is experiencing a shift. Maybe things are going really well and you're just looking to scale. You might have also just fired your boss on a whim without a plan for your future. Don't worry, I've been there too. Perhaps you're a teenager that's about to graduate high school. Now, all of these scenarios result in a transitionary phase, which requires transformation on your part. Either way, it's never a problem. The real question is, do you desire to transform? Transformation Gold and this program will break down for you step by step what's required for radical transformation into the arena of successful free enterprise and enlightened entrepreneurship. I'll spend a lot of time on how to sustain that transformation as well, and the process of raising your vibrational level and allow you to harness that law of attraction. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and create a full digital program on the law of attraction without applying any other universal laws. Rather, I'm going to tell you exactly what's required to materialize your intentions in the now and avoid living in the fantasy of them. Now, that might sound surprising. Most programs on enlightenment and or the law of attraction, for that matter, do not integrate production into the inner workings of the universal law. And it's in fact the law of materialization that hasn't been applied properly for most. But that's why I named this program Transformation Gold, not transformation through self-gratification. And as we go through this process together, I ask that you consider me one of your business partners and one of your closest colleagues. I want you to succeed in ways so big that Michael Jordan himself would be jealous. Now, I say that tongue-in-cheek and jokingly, but here, first, I got some questions for you. Look deep into your heart. Are you someone that recognizes opportunity? Do you have a business idea inside of you that the world deserves to know about? Are you willing to develop the congruency required to raise your level of vibration? Who are you in the world? Better yet, who are you becoming? What's your unique contribution going to look like? Now, those are some pretty big questions, aren't they? As we explore the path of enlightened entrepreneurship and the universal laws of infinite wealth, we're going to cover those questions in greater detail. Now, I got to tell you, I'm really excited to be sharing my life experience with you. I'm looking forward to your growth. I'm looking forward to your success. So allow me to introduce you to the first universal law, and that's going to be the law of enlightened entrepreneurship. Every challenge or problem in the universe presents a greater opportunity for the enlightened entrepreneur. And it seems like everywhere we go, someone's complaining about the price of gas, food, electricity, etc. And all that's true, but what most fail to realize is the fact that over the past 10 years, we obviously had the global economic meltdown of 2008, and a lot of things have just, shifted as far as wealth is concerned within our country. However, that provides with opportunity. We're also finding that mankind is reaching a higher state of consciousness as well. Many are experiencing an awakening to higher self and a purpose-driven life. Throughout this program, I'm going to assist you in developing your awareness of choices. And I want you to decide if you're going to pursue infinite greatness or settle for a less fulfilling existence. So before we go any further, let's declare that you'll become a problem solver and not proud of the problem. So wherever you are, go ahead and say to yourself, look, I'm a problem solver. Declare it. I am the solution. I am opportunity. That space that I'm in right now presents more opportunity than any other time in my lifetime. In addition, the next time you bump into somebody by accident, instead of saying sorry, think in your mind to yourself, hey, I'm opportunity. Nice to bump into you today. And one thing I want you to remember as we go through this process is that there are no accidents. Just like the two of us meeting today through this program, there are no accidents. I truly believe that as you and I connect through the Transformation Gold Mentorship Program, that more and more opportunity will unfold for both of us than you ever imagined. There are no accidents. Remember that. Now, I recently participated in a contest within a company for the chance to win a private mega yacht charter to Bora Bora. I produced diligently and I put forth tremendous effort to ensure that I'd make the top 10 and set a great example for the company. I knew that this contest would be close and that I would be competing with some of the most enlightened entrepreneurs that I had ever come across. By the time the winners were announced, I really had nothing left in me. I left it all out on the field. I put forth a best effort. It just so happens I finished number 11 in that contest. Problem or opportunity? Let's look deeper into it. I had already processed my passport application, told the wife at the time that we had a really good chance of winning, had my mother make arrangements to watch the kids, told the kids that we might have won, only to fall 3 feet short of gold. Problem or opportunity? Although I will admit, for being slightly upset for about 2 seconds, the enlightened entrepreneur accepts, reflects, and searches for a greater opportunity in every situation. As I write the very chapter of Transformation Gold, the book that will eventually become a digital coaching methodology for the year 2016 and change so many people's lives, my colleagues are in Bora Bora, where I would have been had I made the top 10. I can tell you that if I would have won that trip, taking an additional week off to complete Transformation Gold back in 2008 would not have happened. So everything happens the way it's supposed to. As long as you keep the door open through a positive mental attitude and awareness, you can create opportunities within any situation. So I was never supposed to be in Bora Bora in the first place. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be with you here instead. The opportunity to change lives and awaken fellow entrepreneurs to a higher state of consciousness is living in my life's purpose, and for that I'm grateful. It took me a long time to acknowledge that everything happens the way it's supposed to, though. From someone who suffered the loss of my father at a very young age, and then eventually joined the military a few months later, to the joy of getting married and becoming a parent myself. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. I think the biggest challenge many of us have is that we don't allow ourselves to move forward long enough, allowing the pieces of the puzzle to come together. We don't allow time to take its natural course and make sense of it all. Instead, the internal dialogue may sound something like this, like why me, or make statements like this always happens to me. Ultimately, to justify our own pity party as an excuse for procrastination, creating incongruence within our life's purpose. Isn't it funny how that works? If you think about it, the only obstacle we really have to overcome, at least in America, is ourselves and our own procrastinating habits. It's not the economy or the brown noser that just accepted the only VP position that's going to be available for the next 40 years. It's simply you. Now, maybe you can't wait 40 years for that position to open up again. Well, congratulations. You just gave yourself the perfect opportunity to start your own company. Maybe in the same industry, maybe it's time for a complete overhaul. That's for you to decide. Either way, you have choices. You are responsible. You are opportunity. And you're infinitely great. And that's the enlightened entrepreneur's mindset in a nutshell. It's nothing fancy. It's quite simple. Actually, I'm 100% responsible, and I possess within me the seeds of infinite greatness. Throughout this book, I'll refer to a unique core coaching concept to assist you moving forward to infinite greatness. Each chapter contains its own core coaching concept. Allow me to introduce you to core coaching concept number 1, and that is I am opportunity. Part of the reason I became an entrepreneur in the first place is because I can honestly say that I'm responsible for exactly where I am today. It's not good or bad. It certainly hasn't been a bed of roses. Now, I've had my share of failures along the way, and I'll continue to learn from many in the future as I transition forward in my life's purpose. But throughout every step of the way, I've reminded myself or had coaches to remind me that I'm 100% responsible. Most importantly, I've enjoyed every moment of the journey and encourage you to do the same. So before we go any further, I want to take just a second to acknowledge your participation in this process. I want you to know that I'm proud of you for taking these first steps and even making it this far. I'm proud of you for who you are and for who you're becoming, most importantly. I encourage you to continue on this journey. Continue on the individual quest for success and self-mastery. The world deserves your best, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish when you put your mind to it. Guys, that's going to conclude for Chapter 1. Now, I'm really excited to get into Chapter 2 with you as we set the foundation and shift that mindset from employee to entrepreneur. So I'll see you on the inside of Chapter 2.